following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
An icon reborn. A new season begins. Drivers must face off wheel to wheel with only one goal: to be crowned champion. Experience the competition and the glory days of early 80s IndyCar action. Hear the song of 500 horsepower Cosworth engines. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Without electronic driver aids, it creates the perfect combination of man, machine, and speed. The Lionheart Retro Series, presented by HPP Simulation, starts now.
So you're watching on the iRacing Esports Network, and you're wondering if you should stay tuned. Well, let's see. The premier fixed setup league for the Lotus 79 on the iRacing service? Well, check. An actual real-world active IndyCar driver in the field? Surprise! Check. 15 rounds in an 18-round season, and the Drivers' Championship is, well, within 7 points. Well, check there also. A team championship just as close as the Drivers? Well, check. And one of the best broadcast companies in the business doing the broadcast? Well, we'll put a check mark there as well. And 2 quality commentators, but both knowledgeable and, well, eloquent. Oh, I've never been accused of being eloquent. I won't hear, so 5 out of 6 ain't bad. Coming your way from Gateway Motorsports Park, presented by HPP Simulations, it is the Lionheart Retro Series Mental Health Awareness 200. You can see all the action from Green Flag to the Victory Donuts live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel via the iRacing Esports Network. From the Show Me State, hello and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green, presented by the Sim Pit. As cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats, and facts you'll need to appreciate the simulated Lotus 79 action that will immediately follow as we count down to green here for the Mental Health Awareness 200. Adam Young here with you tonight. Joining me as usual, Bill Soup's on up in the booth. I'm Jed Yaman, has the director's chair here for tonight. Armed cameras located and loaded by Dougie Beard. Well, Soup, what a fantastic ending to that Iowa race. I missed it. I didn't get a chance to see it until actually just a little bit earlier today. And whoa, I missed a good one. And we could be shaping up for just as good a race here tonight at Gateway.
It was a barn burner, we like to call it out here in Missouri. Let's talk about Gateway. It's been an integral part of the Midwest motorsports scene since it opened its gates back in '67. You know, it started with an 1/8 of a mile drag strip. They expanded that to a 1/4 mile back in '71. In '85, they put in a 2.6 mile road course that used part of the drag strip for the main straight. But here's the deal. In '95, a man near and dear to my heart, Chris Pook, who is the father of the Long Beach Grand Prix, bought the facility, promptly tore the thing up, put in a 1 1/4 mile oval and a 1.6 mile infield course that exists today. Now, the oval is the favorite of many drivers because of the differences at both ends. You can see it there. Turns 1 and 2 have characteristics similar to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Turns 3 and 4 are more like Phoenix International Raceway. And the track is egg-shaped, reminiscent of the oval at Twin Rings Motegi. It's ovoid. Now, last year, Adam Blocker found the Gateway victory lane with Joe Hassard and Jason Galvin rounding out the podium. You know, Galvin has missed the last couple races due to computer issues, but he's got those fixed. He is back tonight, and not only he's coming right off a GSRC commentator's job where he was doing some stock cars. Veteran viewers will remember Patrick Taylor. Sadly, this was the last race before he fell victim to a sudden and fatal medical emergency on August 8th, 2017. Now, I know Patrick is watching, so let's give him and you, the viewers, an idea of what it's like to get around this place as we jump on board the old Lotus 79s and take a lap around Gateway.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Gateway Motorsports Park in the classic Lotus 79. So without further ado, here we go. Getting it wound up off of turn 4. This is where all the speed is going to be made at Gateway off of the corners, and I'll tell you how here in a second. Down the start-finish line to start your hot lap. Drive it down right about until that caution light on the wall. A little bit on the brakes, downshift it, grab fourth, and then cut to the bottom and try to drive off this corner as straight as possible, because you're going to be able to carry the most speed that you can off of that corner. Really going to set you up good in the draft coming in here to turn 3 where you can potentially make a move. Turn 3, you're not getting down into 4th gear. You're just kind of going about half throttle until about the apex of the corner and then back on it, swinging it out here wide to the wall, down the front stretch once again, off into turn 1, once again looking for that mark on the wall. Getting on the brakes just a hair just to set the nose, down into 4th gear, down to the bottom, straight off of the corner, really letting this engine sing coming down the back stretch. Watch that part of the wall on the back stretch that's blown out. Down here into turn 3 once again, wide apex, lift and float, and then back onto the gas real hard from the center of the corner off, down the front stretch, and across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide here around the Gateway Motorsports Park. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
And that video lap, as well as the entire countdown to green, comes courtesy of our sponsor, the Sim Pit. You know, they're an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its mission is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. Sean, Adam?
Well, if you're going to confuse me for somebody, at least Sean's a good choice, right?
I know who I'm working with.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, you weren't here last week. I forget.
Right. Well, you know, of course, I might ruin some of your storylines on the point standings here, Soup, but man, after Iowa, things have really tightened up more than when I left a couple of weeks ago. It is nuts. Go ahead and give us a rundown on that.
Yeah, sure enough. Now, check this out. Alex Saunders missed the season opener and had a 28th place finish at Phoenix. So, with only 2 races allowed to be dropped, when the Nighthawk Motorsports driver came home in 17th at Iowa, those points counted. Let's change. Let's look at Adam Blocker for Adrenaline. Now, he's been perfect attendance all season long, and after dropping a 29th and a 15th place result, he's left with nothing worse than a 6th on his record with 4 wins and 6 runner-ups. Look at that gap, only 7 from Saunders to Blocker, and really Blocker's sitting a little pretty with a little more drop insurance than Alex has. You know, one other driver I want to talk about is Chris Sleepy Lanini. You know, he's been anything but that recently. A 5th at Iowa, his best result this season, jumps the Dragon Flyer up 5 spots to the prized west side of the graphic. In 8th on the heels of his best result so far this season, that was his 5th. Now, since being dubbed Sleepy by one of the GSRC commentators, Lanini has yet to finish outside the top 10. You can thank me later on that one. Let's go down and look at the team championship. Oh my goodness, it was a runaway for Raven. They were gently rapping on the championship doors, but no, Raven Motorsports has been ran down by 8-Ball Motorsports. Raven had a horrible Iowa. 8-Ball had a great Iowa, and now the interval between them exactly the same as the interval between the drivers at the top of the Drivers' Championship. Adrenaline Motorsports, boy, they are notoriously strong, but they are just locked into 3rd position. You can see that there are no changes all the way down throughout the field. Keep an eye, though, on Nighthawk. They continue to climb. Look for them to move up into the top 5 before the season is over. Hey, Adam, why don't you talk about the newcomers?
Yeah, you know, of course, the rookie standings so far runaway for Alex Saunders, as he now has a 103-point lead over Michael Goodman and 216-point lead over Brian Yazek. Of course, Michael Goodman, you know, he really stand to actually kind of, you know, get a lot of good points last week, but ultimately fell well down in the running order after that accident with 3 laps to go last week at Iowa. The only moves here in the point standings, of course, Bart Workman making, I guess his return to iRacing. He had a little bit of a break there. He's now in 12th in the standings, of course, following Graf losing a spot there. But other than that, that's really it for the standings, Soup, and lots of storylines we're going to be following there. And I guess one other thing that we want to mention about those standings is don't forget the last race of the season at California, another double points Triple Crown event. So things are going to get even crazier as the rest of the season goes along. Of course, Lionheart sanctions both this Retro Series and the Big Sister IndyCar Series. Both campaigns honor the memory of the original Lionheart, Dan Weldon. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at those series details.
We are indeed season 2. This is sophomore campaign. The first one was a success. They decided to bring it back. Round 15 of 18. So we get this one out of the way. 3 more after that. You can see the 2 drop races that I talked about in the point standings. Of course, the car is the Lotus 79 setups. They are fixed, but they've been tinkered with. So everyone's racing the same thing, but they should be raceable. And of course, here's the big one. Cash and prizes at $4,391. That's a Denny's steak dinner away from $4,400. My goodness, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of guys that are vying for that as well. Now, Soup, I'll go ahead and I'll take the weather here for you tonight because usually give me a hard time about that. Here in St. Louis, well, East St. Louis, of course, just across the Mississippi River, 76 degrees. But for the air temperature, track temperature, because we're running at night, winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. The humidity, not too bad at about 35%. So a nice little Midwestern evening out there here today at Gateway Motorsports Park. Now, qualifying just getting underway, and, well, let's take a look at some of the favorites out there. Jake Wright, of course, we've seen Jake Wright put down some good performances. He was last year's champion. Not quite as high up in the running order as I think he'd like to be, but he also hasn't made every single race here for this season. In fact, he's missed a few, which is why he's kind of down there. But he usually puts on a pretty good show here, so we look for him to be fast for tonight. Another guy to be looking for to be fast. You see that fastest lap up on the board right now? Bob Mikus. Bob Mikus, he had a really strong run at Iowa. In fact, Soup, if I remember right, you were thinking he might come away with the win there for a moment after that chaos there with 3 laps to go.
I thought he had it. I thought he was going to get through the smoke there, but Blocker was able to limp that car home. You know, we talked about the newcomers going on, and there are some big newcomers. One of them being Cordy Wenzel. He's really good. But, Adam, we got another newcomer that might need a little talking about.
Yeah. I think he'll need a little talking about. We'll wait for him to get on track, though, before we talk about it, before we ruin the surprise there. But David Altman's another one of those guys that has been real fast here today, and I mean, this tail end of the season as well. Another guy that missed a few races, so he's not really up in the standings, but he seems to be making his presence known at the end of these races, and right now sitting at 12th on the initial leaderboard. George Anzaldo. Now, I got to talk about George. He's a series organizer. He does great things with the Lionheart Retro Series, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention just some of the bad luck that has found George's way here the last few weeks, Sue.
Yeah, this has not gone his way. Take a look at Robert Bluen right now. Robert's sitting 20th. We got about 3 or 4 drivers yet to put in qualifying times. I think they're just waiting for things to clear out.
Yeah, and of course, him, and also can't forget Sam Ryman. Now, you were talking about Chris Lanini earlier there, Soup. And we got to mention that him and Sam Ryman are now tied for the cleanest driver award. They both have only had 15 incidents here so far this season, so they've been able to run clean and be able to actually have some halfway decent results because of it.
Yeah, it was Ryman's too. He was well out in front, but he had a couple issues recently, so now we had a close one. That's something that those guys take pride in. Look at that, gather up the chickens. I don't know where he got that comment from. That's a good one.
I don't have a clue. All right, so let's go ahead and spoil the surprise. He's out on track now. He's getting ready to take the green flag for his first qualifying lap. Sage Karam of IndyCar fame a couple of good runs over the years at the Indy 500. He's really been mostly running the Indy 500 the last couple of years in Indy cars, but he is joining us here in Lionheart for tonight. Of course, Sage Karam very active on iRacing. I've got a couple of friends who have actually teamed up with him, some endurance events, and he is going to be running that butt kicker onboard camera. We'll get that plug out of the way for those guys. Of course, with that butt kicker camera, he'll be carrying that with us all night long, Sue.
Out there in the, what is the sponsor on that car there? The ICI Chemicals Plastics car. It's a nice looking machine. Wish Sage well.
So it would be interesting to see how well he's able to do here. It's first Lionheart Retro Series race, and on top of that too, he might be one of those guys I think to watch out for, because I think he kind of saw how it might play out here for tonight. Don't be surprised to see him kind of hang in the back maybe a little bit after an initial run, but he's so far 11th on the provisional grid, so of course we'll see. Now Chris Walker is another one of those newcomers here for the Lionheart Retro Series. See where he's at when he comes across the line. He'll bump his time up to 19th with a 28.89. And I don't think anybody is now at speed out on the track. In fact, qualifying is wrapping up. So let's go ahead and go over to that HPP simulation grid. Sitting on the pole here for tonight. Surprise, he has been doing great on the ovals, even won at Michigan a few weeks ago. That's going to be Michael Goodman. Starting alongside him will be Adam Blocker.
Then the man that is chasing Blocker in the points, Alex Saunders, and Mark Cohen fill up row 2.
Yeah, look how close those times are here in the first couple of rows. Brian Yazik just beating out James Brandt, but by just beating him out, that means they'll occupy row 3 together.
Candyman Dustin Wardlow in the 7th position inside of George Anzaldo.
Yeah, George with a great qualifying run. Jake Wright be starting in 9th. Alongside him will be Chris Stouffer.
I have a former real-world commentator, Richie Hearn. I get to do these on the Lionheart IndyCar Series on Wednesday night. I get to get a real-world driver, Sage Karam, in 11th to talk about. Justin Weaver's going to be outside of him.
Yeah, Chris Lanini in the 13th spot in the number 92 car. Alongside him, tied for the cleanest driver award here so far, Sammy Ryman.
Welcome back to the series, Jason Galvin after a little hiatus. All ribbons and girls in the Sweet 16 position, Cody Winston.
David Altman and Bob Michaels make up row 9.
19th and 20th go to Chris Walker and Bart Workman.
And then starting in 21st position, you'll find Dan Guerin and then Travis Jägerleiner.
Frank Beezer and Scott Johnson fill up the next row.
And then Robert Bluen and Andrew Kinsella. And Miss Budweiser did not set a time here for tonight.
George Adams and Cody Eldred as well, 27th and 28th, without a qualifying time.
Yeah, and that will round out the field. So we've got 28 cars. And I believe out of those, we'll probably see 27 actually line up here and take the grid. Oh, no, actually all 28 are out there here. Usually we have one of the admins that are out there. But the guys are starting to get ready to roll. So here in just a moment, we'll start going through our onboard cameras. But I do want to make mention, of course, Mental Health Awareness 200 here for tonight. They are celebrating Mental Health Awareness Week. We'll give you a little bit more info on that coming up here a little bit later on in the show. But definitely something to think about here for tonight. As the pace car starts to roll away. And eventually here in just a few moments, Michael Goodman and Adam Blocker will be taking them to the green flag. As far as onboard cameras here for tonight, go ahead and roll through. Actually, we got the HPP simulation group. We want to tell you about HPP simulation. And when it's time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP simulation. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more, visit hppsimulation.com. Jake Wright with that onboard camera here for tonight. Sage Karam, as we mentioned, he's got that butt kicker onboard camera. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LINE20 at 20% off your order. Hey, and Bob Mikas has an onboard here with us tonight for Van Hansens. VanHansens.com. Since 1983, has delivered personalized full service in a friendly, old-fashioned meat market environment. So we got a lot of cameras up at the top part of the field. I think it's going to be pretty exciting out there, Sue.
You did it. You got it all in. Now we've done all the business. Now we can get to the business at hand. Time to go racing. Round 15 here in the Lionheart IndyCar Retro Series.
Pace car is off. Michael Goodman's getting the green flag, and they are away. He's going to get a good jump. Expect a lot of drafting here for tonight on this egg-shaped oval, and that's been plenty of action. They get through turn 1 here so far just fine. Looking in the back of the field, Brian Yazik able to slice up in front of that was Mark Cohn. Everybody gets away from that here so far. Can everybody make it through lap 1 so far? Turns 3 and 4. We all know turn 4 really tightens up at the exit at Gateway. Is that going to bite people tonight? Will that be a problem? Well, so far for Michael Goodman, it's doing just fine as Adam Blocker can't find a way, but here comes Alex Saunders getting a good look at the inside of Blocker. Be able to click the pass going through turn 1. Look at the difference in lines there. A lot of guys electing to take that middle line here very early on, Sue.
Not quite single file yet through the back of the pack. They're still trying to sort it out, as is the battle for third with Saunders in the dark car and the HPP machine of Brian Yazik. They continue to go side by side.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are trying to take it easy through turn 1 and 2, but nope, not Alex Saunders. Excuse me, Adam Blocker. Looks like he's going to go and take a look. Michael Goodman spins around. He's in the wall hard. I think he caught Wardlow. A couple other guys get collected. I see Altman there. Is that the same Lyman? No, it's Justin Weaver.
I think the Candyman got through. Chris Walker did a great job of getting the car checked up.
Oh, that was so reminiscent of when the car broke loose on him there. There's Dustin Wardlow. I really think he might have caught a piece of that. Yeah. But that looks so reminiscent when he lost it there at Iowa there, Sue.
Yep,
right enough for Sam Ryman over top of the roll bar and the helmet. See the smoke and just nowhere to go. He tries to get around it, but that outside wall limits how much room he has. And he's got, at the very least, some pretty good front wing damage. He probably has some suspension damage as well with that kind of contact.
Not a good day for the Moby Dickie's car. That one is out. A lot of drivers caught up on that one. To give another tip of the hat to Chris Walker in the 33. Boy, Chris, you really got the car woed up. I thought you were going to make matters worse. Nice job of racing out there.
You know, and one casualty of this, you know, with Michael Goodman now having the trouble as well, you know, Sue, he still had an outside chance of trying to get in there in the championship fight, you know, with Saunders and Blocker. You know, Wardlow still has a shot at it, but I think with how far he's going to finish down the running order tonight, I think that's going to take him out of contention here for the remaining races, unfortunately. But man, he puts on a good show when he's out there. Unfortunately, just those rear tires was not able to keep up with him tonight.
This is big boy racing. Of course, there is no fast repairs here, no spare cars. The big names that are probably out, Michael Goodman and Justin Weaver. Also, maybe Scott Johnson might have been involved in that one. Also, David Altman. We'll see what happens on those.
Yeah, I'm looking at Dustin Wardlow's car right now, and he's got some pretty significant rear wing damage. It looks like some side pod damage as well. The skirt that kind of directs the air over top of the rear tire on the right side, that looks to be heavily damaged. I think Dustin Wardlow is going to be one of those guys that might be limping around here for the rest of the night just to try to get points.
Our real-world IndyCar driver still out there, though. He avoided all that problems.
So Sage Karam is not a victim, as you mentioned.
Nope.
Yeah, that's good. Jason Galvin got through. So there's definitely considering what we were seeing in warm-ups with a lot of multi-car accidents just because you're so committed to lines here once you enter the corners. And that collected a good number of cars, but it could have been a lot worse considering the fact it was, you know, first, second place that spun.
How about a tip of the hat to the driver currently in 17th position, Cody Eldred. Well, Cody, why we care about you? You started 28th. You're racing in 17th. I can do that math. That's 11 positions.
I've been waiting to do the whole Count Dracula thing, or you know, whatever the guy is from Sesame Street.
The Count.
Yes, the Count. Man, I can't believe I was blanking on. I was just talking about that guy this past weekend. Don't ask me why. It just came up. Random thoughts. Random looks, insights into Adam Young's life.
Just saw an article about Bert and Ernie and their relationship with each other. It went places I really didn't care to go.
And with that,
Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just never even given it a thought. So, good to know.
Thinking they should get one to go here. Just considering the fact this caution happened very early on in the race. Let's see if the lights go off in the pace car. They are off. So we're going to go back to green here in just a moment. But that changes things a lot. I mean, we expected Michael Goodman to obviously be very strong here for tonight, and a great qualifying effort by him. And now your top two in the race here to begin with, are your top two in the running order for the points, and that's going to be a storyline here for the rest of the season. But going into tonight, if you're just joining us, Alex Saunders only has a 7-point lead over Adam Blocker. Of course, Adam Blocker in the lead right now with Alex Saunders. Brian Yazik in third, Mark Cohn in fourth, and James Brandt in fifth. Hey, let's talk about James Brandt a little bit here. James Brandt has been one of those guys the last few weeks that he really seems to make his presence known in the middle part of the race, and then for whatever reason, it sometimes seems to fall off just a little bit there, Soup. So be looking for him as we go through the next phase of this race. Mustang pace car getting ready to pull off and give the field there to Adam Blocker. There it goes. Wait for Adam Blocker to get on the gas. And there he is. Gets a pretty good jump on the rest of the field. Immediately moves up to that top line. Kind of leaves Alex Saunders out there to dry a little bit. Brian Yazik is going to get a good look on the outside of him going down to turn one. Yazik taking that preferred, what seems to be preferred anyway here right now, middle line. Alex Saunders goes up and slides right in front of him. I think that's going to kill actually Alex Saunders' momentum. Brian Yazik able to cut down, get a good run going down the back straightaway. He's going to have the inside line here going into turn three. And it actually seems like a little bit of the momentum as well. We'll see who gets the run off turn four. Alex Saunders able to come back just a little bit, but Brian Yazik still edges him out at the line. Going into turn one, Yazik actually gave up just a touch of time there, at least for the moment, to Alex Saunders. Now, there's a battle on the racetrack right now going on for second place.
We're going to decide right away which is the preferred line to have. Looks like the top one is. The bottom line's, you're going to, now listen to this, you're going to abuse your tires, but these tires are so hard, they're going to come back to you, but you're going to heat them up. So you might be able to run the bottom line for a while, then you'll have to stop, then you can try it again a little bit later. Yazik has to settle for right down the middle now in third.
Yeah, and as soon as Alex Saunders cleared him, he was able to put just a little bit of time on a couple of tenths back there. So that battle cooling down just a little bit, but I'm looking at James Brandt back here, Soup. He's looking a little hungry, like he might want to try to get around Mark Cohn.
That is going on as Brandt looking to move. He's right behind Cohn right now. Passing seems to be easy. I don't think the wash is as bad as we've seen on other tracks right now. Guys can get a run, and they can actually finish the pass, and if they don't make it, it's not so deadly. Right behind Brandt, Sage Karam now racing up in sixth, up 5 spots, getting a feel for how things work here in the Lionheart series. Another guy coming is Jake Wright on the low side back in 7th. You see him right there.
He's fighting with George and Zaldo. They've been side by side now about the last 2 laps, and George and Zaldo holding his own. How about George? You know, he's had a good run of bad luck. There's a couple songs about that, but he's trying to make up for it here tonight after coming off a good qualifying effort and so far holding his own during the race.
If the racing gods are fair, they'll sprinkle a little good luck George's way. Right now he's going to be passed, I think, by Jake Wright. As he gets underneath him, we ride on board, looking off the tail, but look at the momentum that the top side skid stands Zaldo.
Yeah, Soup, you made a good point, though, about those tires, though, and that's one thing Jake Wright does not want to do is abuse those tires and get them too hot. It's even as hard as they are, I think if they get too hot, that'll be a problem, and turns 1 and 2 at Gateway are definitely a place you got to be careful about that.
Right behind them, you see that fluorescent machine of Jason Galvin making a dart underneath Chris Sleepy Lanini. Lanini hanging on, sitting there in 9th.
Yeah, Jason Galvin with kind of an uncharacteristic qualifying effort, only coming in at 15th on the grid here for tonight, but being able to make up a couple spots, making a pass, doing a few passes, but also gaining a few spots after that accident. And now, here's Chris Lanini. Of course, he's getting a good run here on Jake Wright going into turn 3. Of course, Chris has the Patrick Taylor Memorial sticker there on the nose of his car. We mentioned Patrick here in the pre-race broadcast. This was his last race last year before he tragically passed away. So we always still want to mention that Patrick's in our thoughts.
Memory lives on. You know, you talked about Galvin. He's coming off that broadcast where he was sitting next to Sean Ambrose. And it's exhausting to sit next to Sean. So, really, him being in 10th right now, that's pretty darn good.
Well, and also at Martinsville. It's a little bit of a different track than a stock car at Martinsville.
Ooh.
Hey, here at P5, James Brandt finally making a move on Mark Cohn. He's going to get around him and clear him.
I really think Brandt, he's going around as Sage Karam is coming up on the back of him. I really think Brandt might have got the car in the walls.
Yeah, I see that now. Sorry, blue and white cars. I mixed that up just a little bit. Yeah, Brandt was close to the wall. I don't think he quite got it. But Sage Karam's going to make easy work of him, I think, here. I think James Brandt, I think he got close enough, though, to maybe spook him a little bit, knock him off his game. He's going to go ahead and try coming back on Sage Karam just a little bit. Gets a good dive going down into turn 1, but Sage is going to be able to keep that momentum going there on the middle to high line, which here right now seems to be the preferred line if you don't have anybody around you.
You don't need to go there, but I can tell you in 15th position, your hard charger is Andrew Kinsella. You know, I take that back. Andy didn't put in a qualifying time, so he is somebody to watch, though. He's coming up.
So you're saying he does what I did and just kind of hang out in the back and pick up positions as I go.
he is coming. I just do not want to get him credit for being a hard charger.
Hey, P7 is now in contention. Jake Wright and George Inzaldo. Jake Wright now didn't have much luck on the inside line. He's going to go and try the outside line, see if he's able to do anything there. George fighting back there coming out of turn 4. And so far still running neck and neck.
Yeah, Wright got credit with being first to the finish line to the timing and scoring. Now he gets underneath, but I think he lost all of his momentum. Here comes the dipsy-do, the hucklebuck, the hokey-doke, the dipsy-do underneath for Jake Wright.
And you don't have to worry about me calling everything a slide job tonight, but that was definitely a slide job to get around George Inzaldo there for Jake Wright. He can come right back on him here. Gets a good run going down the front straightaway using that draft. See if he's able to return the favor. I don't think he has quite enough room here to be able to pull up in front of him. And that in turn gives Jake Wright a pretty good run going down the back straightaway. So P7, that battle, for at least for the moment, is going to go to Jake Wright as everybody kind of falls in single file there for at least the moment.
I don't think that's a leapfrog position. We better go up to 3rd position right now. Here comes a look from Mark Cohn underneath Yazek. Not going to happen. Mark's going to lose all of his momentum now. Fortunately, Sage Karam is too far back to capitalize.
You know, and we haven't talked about him in a while, but ever really almost since the restart. But Adam Blocker has not ran away from these guys. I mean, he's still in the lead. He's still comfortably in the lead by at least 0.6 of a second here over Alex Saunders. And then you go back about another 0.8 of a second going back to Mark Yazek and Cohn and Karam. But he's not marching away. I mean, he's a very comfortable lead, but he's not untouchable at this point.
You know, Lock Precision sponsors our race analysis. Fly hard, fly safe, fly lock. Let's look at that right now. You know, we're going 160 laps, but here's the big one. 50 laps on a fuel stint. That's going to be coming up soon. We're just about the halfway mark, and then you have those incident points. 8 gets you minus points. 12 gets you DQ'd. It's going to be hard to pick up 12 points here and still be racing.
Absolutely. I mean, we already see a couple of guys that probably only have 2 incident points, and they're limping around right now just trying to get the points. We're right on board now with Sage Karam on that butt kicker onboard camera. And Soup, you know, one thing to mention, of course, with the laps at 168, you mentioned the fuel stints at 50, we saw a handful of guys come down pit road during that first caution for fuel. So they are planning the possibility that fuel strategy could play a role as we get a little bit closer to the end of this race. That'll be, of course, one of the storylines we'll follow for here over the course of the remainder of the Mental Health Awareness 200 here tonight. Looking at a car back here, really kind of dove to the inside. Okay, that was Frank Beezer. Frank Beezer kind of gave me a little bit of a scare there coming off 4, but I think it was just mostly he was just kind of trying to get some room to get around Cody Eldred. Racing back there in 18th and 19th positions. I'll give some love to those guys.
Good racing going on between them. Eldred, of course, we talked about it, started 28th. Made up 11 spots, but then it's kind of find his level right now. That being said, he's going to try to go on the inside, get one more spot.
Hey, here's a guy that's getting hungry, though. And you're looking at him. That's Dan Guerin trying to get around Chris Lanini. Dan Guerin's been quietly trying to get a few spots. He gets up alongside. Is he able to complete that pass? No, he's not. They fall back in line. They're going down the back straightaway. And I'm watching another guy that's starting to try to maybe get a little hungry here. You have to go up to 4th position. That's where Sage Karam resides now. He's had a few looks at Brian Yazik. Not able to do anything with it yet, but I think Yazik knows he's there.
Karam has been getting them one by one, just taking the time. Last one, he got Cone. Before that, he had Brandt. He also got around Wright a while ago. Picking them off one at a time. All this going on behind Alex Saunders and Adam Blocker, who are racing 1-2. You know, there's some lap traffic coming into the mix.
Yeah, and these are some of the guys that were damaged. The first one is, I mentioned that Dustin Wardlow might be limping around the rest of the night, and that's the case. They're going to go around that damaged DeWars candy machine. Almost actually brushes the wall there, just trying to stay out of the way. But that's going to give Sage Karam a fantastic run over Brian Yazik. He'll do anything with it here. So that inside line really hurts your momentum.
Had it under there. He just couldn't drive it off the corner. He saw the opportunity, though, with the lap car. Said, okay, I'll take a shot at it. Blocker up by 1.2 seconds on Saunders.
Yeah, as soon as I mentioned that Adam Blocker really wasn't marching away from Alex Saunders, he started to here the last couple of laps. He also caught those lap cars, I think, in a little bit more favorable location. So,
see if I can explain this without confusing people. The interval between first and second point-wise is larger than the interval, let's say, between 11th and 12th. So even though Saunders is only one position behind the guy he's chasing, he's going to lose a lot more with the interval being like it is. And in fact, with Yazik making the pass, he'd even lose more there. Yazik's got to be careful that he doesn't lose momentum, because Karam is not scared to make a dive in there if the opportunity presents itself. Here comes the HPP car again, Adam.
Yeah, like I said, he was feeling the pressure there from Sage Karam. He started kicking up a notch, and Alex Saunders is going to fall victim to that pressure as Brian Yazik gets around him fairly just cleanly. I mean, it wasn't even a contention there for the pass. He was just kind of there. You know, that's also going to give Sage Karam a route to get around Alex Saunders. So, knock Alex Saunders back 2 positions. That's going to funnel him back to 4th, and that just increases that point differential between him and Adam Blocker. That would actually, I believe, give Adam Blocker the points lead if it was to end right this second.
And while he's at it, let's have Sage make another shot. Karam going underneath. Brian Yazik.
We've seen that before. He's just got to get it to stick, and so far, at least, it doesn't seem like it wants to.
But he does lead to the timing and scoring. Boy, look at this. He takes another shot through 3 and 4. Let's see if this corner gives him a better bite off. Oh, good job of Yazik not getting into him. And once again, Karam is first to the line. Don't know if he can hold it. He's in pretty good shape, though, this time into 1, Adam.
Yeah, he has the nose ahead of Brian Yazik. He'll be able to slide up here. And, back in, breaks loose almost a little bit. He had to get out of it. I think he had to crack the throttle just a touch. That's going to allow Yazik to come back on him. And here comes not only Yazik, but Alex Saunders looking to maybe try to reclaim one of those spots. He can't do it, but Yazik does get second place back. But here comes Sage Karam right back on him, going down the front straightaway. Yazik gets him to the line, but Sage Karam has that nose ahead once again, going through 1 and 2. We're going to see a carbon copy this time. He's going to be able to slide up in front of Yazik. He gets a much better exit off, too, that time, and should be able to hold on to second. But here comes Yazik again, using that draft, a little bit able to get back there into second place. He's going to clear him. Might just continue to swap positions here for a minute or two here, Soup.
I'm not sure if this is the kind of swapping that's going to make your lap times faster, because They're killing each other's entry into the corner. And there we go one more time with Karam underneath. Let's give you an interval to blocker. 2 seconds, 2.1 seconds, and growing as those guys continue to leapfrog on both sides of the track.
Caution on the speedway, trying to figure it out.
Chris Walker, I think. Oh, a little net code with Andrew Havakech Kinsella. Chris, that's too bad.
Oh, yeah, they were a good ways off each other, but that was enough contact. That's probably going to end Chris Walker's day. And you'll see him here get that net code nudge and then slide into the wall, and then the secondary impact hits the wall again while trying to get it straightened out. So, tough break there for Chris Walker.
Net code nudge, that's something that...
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, order that up from Dwar's Candy. That sounds like chocolate-covered net code nudge.
We're going to see who comes down pit road here real quick.
Everybody's coming.
I would think so. That erases Adam Blocker's lead. I was just getting ready to say, in fact, here comes everybody. So using that entrance road. I was going to say that the real victim there while Sage Cameron and Brian Yosek were fighting was Alex Saunders. He's like, guys, you're fighting up there causing me a whole bunch of time. I need to keep Adam Blocker in sight.
All right,
None of that matters now as they're coming down pit road.
We'll see how this works. With 50-lap stints, I appreciate it when the setups guys make the fuel tank a nice 50-lap stint. It helps me do math. That means we can get to lap 138, so we're going to need 3 more stops from here.
Seems like everybody hit their pit box cleanly. I was wondering a little bit about if Sage Caramwood. I don't know how much experience he has with these Lotus 79s, but he gets in it good enough. Did he beat Adam Blocker? iRacing's going to give that win off the pit road to Adam Blocker. Sage Karam hangs on to second. Brian Yosek third. Alex Saunders fourth. Mark Cohn in 5th position. So that's going to be your top 5. We're going to go ahead and take a break here on GSRC. We'll be right back.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network, presented here tonight by GSRC. And we're running the Mental Health Awareness 200 Lotus 79 race for Lionheart Retro Series at Gateway Motorsports. Of course, it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and the Lionheart Retro Series joins mental health advocates and organizations across the U.S. to promote community outreach and public education concerning mental illnesses. An estimated 1 in 4 adults are diagnosable with a mental illness such as a major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. Numbers may be larger because the stigma reduces reporting. For more information about the National Alliance of Mental Illness, visit www.nami.org, and we are back to green. Adam Blocker getting a great jump there on Sage Karam. Sage Karam's already going to have his hands full with Brian Yazik. You're not going to be able to do anything with him here going into turn 1. In fact, Brian Yazik almost has to run the way high line, which I think was as many marbles that's up there. That's not exactly where he wants to be there, Soup.
Took that car in right on the gearbox of Karam. Might have got a little bit of a wash, got pushed up, got it settled down, though. Saunders back there in 4th, and it continued a great run for Mark Cohn back in 5th.
Oh, here comes Yazik. He's going to try to come back on Karam going into turn 1. That blue and pink machine, of course, pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, that's going on right now. You're going to be seeing lots of pink cars here for the next month on all of iRacing and all the iRacing Esports Network partners. So just be ready for that. It's going to happen. Sage Karam, though, right now, being able to take over Saul at 2nd place. Adam Blocker, though, Adam wants to see those guys keep racing, doesn't he, Soup?
Yeah, he does, and maybe also does Alex Saunders. Saunders and Blocker probably think, I guess Blocker's in the best position being ahead of it. He can watch any nonsense that happens in his rearview mirror. I guess Saunders probably got to be a little bit worried. Remember, we talked about it in the pre-race show. Alex has no drop insurance. Anything that counts, any bad news that happens on the track is going to happen in his points as well. So he's got to be a little extra careful.
And that's kind of how he's racing right now. He's not taking very many chances. Oh, Sage Karam had a fantastic lap that time around. He's almost to the rear wing of Adam Blocker. Yellow on the speedway. Trying to find it here.
Well, I have no idea. We're still looking for it. Okay, we have a driver who just took a tow, Chris Walker, but
okay, so we're thinking it was when he stopped on pit lane to take a tow on the pit exit lane, and that initiated the yellow flag from iRacing.
That's a tough one because I think what happened was, remember, he had damage from the contact with Kinsella. I think he was just trying to feel out the car, brought it out there, says, this isn't really good, and I don't know what you're going to do. Sometimes those automated iRacing officials, they're cranky.
Yeah, I'll admit, I've never seen a yellow initiated by somebody stopping on the pit exit lane. I mean, I figured that would have been safe to do, but here we are. Can't really do anything about it except ride around under yellow for a minute.
Well, I wanted to go to the car currently in 18th position, car number 17, to give you an onboard camera. But he was all by himself. But we'll do this now because this is the closest he's been to anybody for a while. And, of course, we're talking about Bob Mikas in the Von Hansen's Meat Machine onboard camera. You know, they've been offering you that old-school meat market environment in a modern setting. I don't know what it is, but it's good. All I know is I go online, and I'm telling you right now, order up their flavored pretzels. Von Hansen's Meat.
Flavored pretzels? They deliver?
Well, it comes via...
Will they deliver to Texas?
Yes, they'll deliver. Well, unless you guys secede, I think. But unless then, they will bring it your way.
I don't know what you're talking about, Sue. Well, I will say, he was going to be a beneficiary. Then I actually looked to see how many laps he lost. But Andrew Kinsella had a good car, but down 5 laps. He right before or during that last yellow, he had a disconnect and dropped out of the server for a little bit there in the Miss Budweiser machine and lost a few laps because of that. But he is back out there running, but he's going to be well down in the running order for at least now. Might just be picking up people that are no longer able to continue. Of course, coming down pit road now, we'll see if he actually decides to do that here for the rest of the night. And the light's still on the pace car. We'll see what happens when they come across the line. Okay, so we've got at least 2 more laps here of caution at Gateway.
I've got a guy who deserves a little attention. How about he's currently in 8th, racing in the number 8, and we're talking about Dandy Dan Guerin. Started in the blackjack position, and he actually did put in a qualifying time, so he's learning how to race that Midwest Simulations machine. He's got lock precision on there. Of course, Midwest Simulations, that's part of the Butt Kicker. You can see all the families of Butt Kicker products if you go to MidwestSimulations.com. We're going to take this opportunity before bad luck befalls the driver who has been spotlighted. We'll go to our profile driver. You'll get to see the live yellow flag racing and then the slow motion green flag racing. Of course, we're talking about Jake Wright. We got some numbers. Sometimes they give us these and all the numbers are 0. Not this time. Career starts, how about 32 pole positions? You would think there'd be more, but only 2. He's got more wins than poles. That's an unusual situation. Top 5's a nice Sweet 16 number. Top 10's 20. Says down there, 2017 Lionheart Retro Series champion. 2017, that would be last year.
Yeah, he had a fantastic season in 2017. Of course, I think he's spending most of his time over in the sister series with the IR18 Indy cars. And how well is he doing over there, Soup? Do you know?
Yeah, he's taken off from the IndyCar series over there. He's dedicated as you would think he would be having a better season racing over here, and only in this one, but it's not been going that way.
Oh, okay. Well, I was under the impression he was doing all right over there. Of course, I admittedly don't get a chance to watch the IndyCar broadcast as much as I would like to. So
you're just jealous
out on some of that
because I get to work with Richie Hearn. That's why you don't want to watch it. That's why.
Well, I get to race against him almost, in the major series.
Richie watches this one.
Well, the lights are off on that Mustang pace car. Just getting ready for it to dive down the pit exit row. There it goes, and Adam Blocker on the. Oh, he kind of got on the gas, got off the gas, got back on it a little bit. Sage Karam was having none of that. He's going to have a great run here going into turn 1. This is one of the only times Adam Blocker has been challenged since early in the race when Michael Goodman had a run on him. And guess what? Sage Karam at least leads the race for a quarter of the track. As here, back comes Adam Blocker fighting back on the inside. To be able to do anything here through 3 and 4 as he slides up in front of Sage Karam. Sage Karam able to keep that car rotating and gets a good run going down the front straightaway here. Swap positions, move inside, outside, outside, inside. And here comes Sage Karam once again. Going in turn 1, he'll dive back in front of Adam Blocker, so he was able to do anything with him here. It doesn't quite slide up as much. He wants to try to retain that inside line here going through 3 and 4 this time. Adam Blocker's going to have to fight for it. This Lotus 79, those wide tires really working hard there through 3 and 4. And here comes Sage Karam's going to lead his first lap ever in retro IndyCar Series action at Gateway Motorsports Park. But Adam Blocker noses ahead going into turn 1. So a very short-lived lead, at least for the moment, for Sage Karam. And while those two guys are fighting, you got to think Brian Yazik, Alex Saunders, and back there also Mark Cohn are just loving it because this is allowing them to stay in sight.
And actually, he's bringing Jason Galvin into the mix. A lot of drivers back there now. The pace is slower up front. Some of these guys back here, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th are coming, including Jake Wright, your defending champions. Chris Sleepy Lanini back there in 10th. He's in the mix too. They got to get it sorted out up front. Here comes Blocker underneath again.
Yeah, we've seen earlier that don't want to run side by side for too long. We watched Michael Goodman get loose earlier, unfortunately, and collect a few cars. And don't want to see a repeat of that. I think right now what they're doing is just kind of swapping the spot back and forth quite a bit. I think right now the biggest risk is that's keeping Brian Yazik in the mix. And Yazik right now, I think he's looking a little hungry. If he can get a good run, look for him to try to get up there and do something. He really doesn't have a lot to lose as far as the points are concerned. So he's going to try to go for a win, just like Sage Karam is doing. You know, obviously this is his first start. He doesn't have anything to worry about with the points, but Adam Blocker sure does. You might want to think about that as well. This season is going to quickly wind to a close over the course of the next month and a half.
Yeah, that time off of 4, Karam had a wide exit. Blocker was able to get the run, but he wasn't able to get far enough down into 1 to complete the pass. Now I think Blocker's going to have a hard time making this one, with Karam getting a full run out of 4. Here you go. You see Blocker will take another shot at it, but he's just too far back, I think, to finish it, because he might get a nose up there, but the momentum on the top side means he doesn't need to cross over. Oh, my goodness. Ooh.
Oh, there was a couple of moments. Not only was there a moment up there with Adam Blocker and Sage Karam, there was a moment back here with Jason Galvin as well. As I think James Brandt got slowed up, so that was almost a twofer on an accident scale. Look at Galvin. We're going to replay on that one. Look up in front of him. Things will tighten up quickly. I believe it was coming out of 2 actually last time, maybe 4. That's all right.
Yeah, right coming up right here, and yeah, you can see the pinata full of bees that these guys were racing.
Meanwhile, up front, here comes Yazik, thinking he might try to stick his nose in there and make himself known. Whoa, he gets jammed up quite a bit by Adam Blocker in the entry to 1, and that jams up everybody behind him. Sage Karam's going to go ahead and get a run. He's going to try to get back second here from Brian Yazik.
Now this is interesting. You can make the pass off of 4. Karam's not going to be first to the line this time. It's easier to lead the lap than it is to lead coming out of corner number 2.
It seems like it. And Soup, one thing I'm noticing too is it seems like these guys are starting to slide a little bit more coming off turn 2. Turn 2 is a problem in warm-ups, so I have to wonder, are we going to be starting to see a little bit of action there, especially as these guys start racing side by side for high contention spots here.
Pass for the lead. It was Goodman Blocker took an inside line that really slowed down Karam, but it hurt his drive off, and that let Yazik, well, have a taste of the lead. You can smell it.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to get it going here through 3 and 4. Yeah, he gets a good run going off 4. He's going to at least get the lead here for this lap. Adam Blocker using that draft. He's going to try to get his nose back here alongside him going into turn 1. Side by side is, whew, Adam Blocker drifts high just a little bit. Brian Yazik does the same in response, but they all get away scot-free. In fact, nobody even cracked the throttle there. Here comes Yazik again. Adam Blocker gets that lap. Now, I expected a lot of tight racing, Soup, but I'll admit I wasn't necessarily expecting the pack-style racing here tonight that we're seeing.
I like it. This seems almost perfect. You can make the pass, but it's not really easy like it is in some draft tracks, and we're not stuck with the parade. This seems to be a perfect blend as far as draft and difficulty of making the pass, as they almost come across in a dead heat across the line. Remember now, Saunders has that 7-point lead in the points. So Blocker up here, if we could give you one of those charts, I think every time Blocker passes for the lead, he moves to the championship lead. Then as he gets past, he's caught right now. I think Sage Karam has decided just to sit back there and race easy for a minute.
Yeah, and see, and I know we talk about how hard these tires can be sometimes, but at the same time, you brought up a good point about heating them up. And of course, as the tires heat up, they will wear more too. On top of that, I have to think that it might reach a certain point to where, you know, the Yazik and Adam Blocker up here fighting. Now Saunders trying to get around Sage Cameron, at least sneaking his nose in there, taking a peek. That these tires might get to a point to where it might get a little iffy.
Well, I'm just not going to go there with you. I've tried to go there all season long, and the drivers keep telling me no. Let's look at 5th position. Here he comes, the fluorescent Glidden car. Going, oh, no, it's not Glidden. It's Quaker State. Sorry. I just assumed it was Glidden. That's Jason Galvin going underneath Mark Cohen.
Yeah, you can't forget Dan Guerin back there, too, right behind Jason Galvin. He started 21st position. He's up here fighting deep into the top 10.
Started this green flag run in 7th. He's picked up 1 spot, got around James Brandt. Brandt's been racing inside the top 10 this entire race. Starting to drop a little bit now. Drivers keep continuing to venture down there. Karam taking a look. And I think he's going to get it done.
Yeah. I don't think Yazik was very happy with his car at all that time going through turn 1 and 2. He didn't lose a ton of time, but he is definitely having to wheel it. You got to try to come back here on Adam Blocker again. Oh, he's going around! And Sage Karam gets him. Nowhere to go.
And getting on the binders, Mark Cohn actually parks the car behind those two. Karam ends up on his lid. Yazik, I'm not sure if he, well, other than the contact from Karam,
Yazik is crabbing down the back straightaway right now. So, oh man, 2 guys having a great run. That's just going to be done. So right on board that butt kicker on board camera here with Sage Karam, and it's going to be a view he didn't want to see. Tight racing up front. This is what I was worried about, Soup, and back end just comes right around.
Let's go one more from Cone. Mark Cone, this one will be fun, as you'll get a long view. Talk about getting on the binders. Watch what Mark does here. I didn't realize these cars could slow down so fast. And I will just stop here and wait till it all gets taken care of. Actually go backwards. There you go. Well, we enjoyed having the real-world IndyCar driver here while it lasted. But just like in the real world, in the simulator world, bad luck can get you.
That is very true. As everybody's coming down pit road, hopefully Sage, we'll see if he has a moment to stop by the booth on his way out. But we'll see what happens. But unfortunately, he won't be making a run off pit road this time. He almost beat Adam Blocker last time. And this time, Alex Saunders. Was he going to be able to do anything with Adam Blocker here on pit road? So all those guys starting to pull away. And Adam Blocker is going to be able to retain the lead coming out of the pit. So your top 5 coming out of the pits is going to be Adam Blocker, Alex Saunders, Jason Galvin, and Dan Guerin. And then behind them, James Brandt. All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
We are one to go here at Gateway Motorsports Park. We're rejoining you here on the iRacing Esports Network. Of course, part of the Lionheart Retro Series brought to you by HPP Simulations. HPP is awarding a set of pedals valued at $1,395 to the season champion here for this season. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. Visit hppsimulation.com to check it out. HPP, designed to go fast and built to last. Adam Blocker taking that inside line. You don't see that too often here in these single file restarts, but he seems to have something figured out. Waiting for him to get on the hammer. There he goes. He's going to get a good jump over top of Alex Saunders. But now you're 1-2 in the point standings right now, are running 2-1 in the race as Alex Saunders resumes his chase of Adam Blocker.
Reminds me of a drag racer that prefers the left lane instead of the right lane. You got some good bite from down there. Saunders, Blocker and Saunders now race 1-2. How about Galvin? He's coming. We've been talking about it. And Dandy Dan Guerin, we've noted that as well. Little by little, those two have worked their way up into third and fourth.
And here comes Alex Saunders. He's getting a little hungry for the lead. Is he going to be able to do anything here going into turn one? It tries to slide, just doesn't have enough room to do it. Adam Blocker will be able to hold that here going through, at least into turn three. Looks like they might try to go ahead and try to slice and dice a little bit.
Boy, Blocker brings that car right down low like you would expect, but then it gives a run to Saunders. Now Blocker will keep the top side. I know these tires are hard. We talked about it during the break, but you know, Gateway wears rubber like Catwoman. Eventually, your tires are going to give up if you keep that tight line in there. And that's what Blocker's going to do. He's just going to race up top, make Saunders use them up. Back behind him, a battle for third, too. Guerin on the top side in the fluorescent machine. I'm sorry, Galvin in the top side, Guerin behind him now.
Seeing Adam Blocker really trying to hold it to the inside on the exit of two got a little sketchy for them.
Now you're looking at the lead. That continues right behind them. They also race two abreast as well. Look like Animal's ready to get on the arc right now as they race 2 by 2. Blocker's going to get the lead from the low side. Guerin doesn't from third. And there is James Grant. My gosh, he will not go away. He's like that little sister that keeps bugging you.
He's having himself a great run today, but man, you cannot take away Dan Guerin's great run. He started in 21st position. He's up there fighting for third and fourth right now. So great run by Dan Guerin. Jason Galvin started in 15th. I mean, just these guys hanging on tight.
All right, I'm trying to get to the back of the field. I'm going to talk about 4 drivers real quick. 8th position, Bart Workman. He's worked his way up 12 spots. We see you, Bart. George Anzaldo. He started 8th, falled back a little bit, but still having a good run. Look at that beautiful red car there from George Adams. Didn't qualify. It's 27th to 10th. And that car is brightly colored. And then back to this rookie, Cody Wenzen, 16th to 11th, racing back in 11th position. One more. Cody Eldred in 12th.
Of course, all those guys, a lot of them newcomers and everything else, just being able to have a great run out there. But one guy that's having himself just a fantastic season, Adam Blocker leading the way. Another guy having a fantastic season, the rookie Alex Saunders. Singing his praises a lot, especially in the early part of the season. Now he's fighting for that championship, but he's not careful here. This is exactly what Adam Blocker wants to see. He wants to see Jason Galvin get up there and start challenging Alex Saunders for that second position. That yellow and green machine of Jason Galvin looking bigger as we're looking out the rear wing of Alex Saunders' Lotus 79. And you have to think that the pressure is now going to be on for that position.
Guerin took a peek at Galvin, decided not to, lost momentum. Brandt then took a peek at Guerin, decided not to, lost momentum. That let Jake Wright take a peek at Brandt, decided not to, lost momentum. You get to know where I'm going with this one. They all hold station. All happening in front of Chris Lanini.
Seeing guys after we've had two big incidents there through 1 and 2, guys I think are starting to already start to take it just a touch easier through there here. So we'll see if that calms down a little bit, but I don't think it will once we get toward the end of this race. I mean, we're right at the just past the halfway point now, and well, this is the first time we've seen single file for the first 7 spots. And just as I say that, Dan Guerin dives to the inside of Jason Galvin. Jason Galvin, I think, just had a poor entry there into 1, and that kind of ate him all the way through.
Well, I think Alex Saunders doesn't want to race 20 laps on the inside lane trying to pass Blocker. And even if he does get it done, what's he going to have left? I think he's learned the lesson from what he saw happen to Yazik. So we're only halfway. We got plenty of time. No reason to... Where are you going if you pass me? And look at... There we go. 2 wide now. Guerin, the white car underneath that fluorescent machine. The Quaker States car, the number 42. The Bakersfield kid. Jason Galvin. Can't get it done. Bart Workman, the caboose of this 8-car train, back there watching everything behind Chris Lanini. Guerin tries again.
At least for right now, holding on to that third spot. Jason Galvin coming right back on him.
Ooh, that was
that time he actually slowed up. Dan Guerin had to crack the throttle a little bit. I think James Brady had to crack the throttle in response. And this is bringing in Jake Wright, Chris Lanini, and Bart Workman into this battle there. Those guys are going to be fighting here for top 5 spots in the next few minutes, I think.
And little sister James Brandt wants to play so badly. Reminds me of Rudolph and the other reindeers in front. Galvin and Guerin won't let him play any reindeer game. Oh my goodness! Blitzen, careful!
Yeah, I hope James Brandt doesn't have any family watching. He might not be able to live down that little sister comment.
Well, you all with little sisters, you know what I mean.
Better yet, I hope he has friends at the bar watching, then he really won't ever live it down. Now, Alex Saunders kind of deciding not to press the issue here with Adam Blocker has really kind of helped start to open it up here on those guys, because as Dan Guerin, as you see there on your screen, continues to fight with Jason Galvin, Blocker and Saunders are starting to inch away, and that's, I think, what they want here at this point. Is Dan Guerin continues to fight tooth and nail for that 3rd position. Ooh, Jason Galvin almost dove it in there, but with Dan Guerin still there. Could lift out of it just a touch, but they get through it going down the front straightaway. This is the battle on the racetrack right now.
Oh, there it is!
Dan Guerin gets into him.
Little sister gets by. Billy Idol's going to be happy about that one. Oh my goodness.
1-car incident, and Dan Guerin's great run comes to a big end into that exit of turn 2 wall.
You can only dance the tango so long in a China shop before you break some porcelain. It was just bound to happen.
We're right on board Jake Wright here. And just the, you're going to see up in front, Jason Galvin does, I believe, a pretty good job holding his line, and just the tires just make that just slightest of contact, and that's enough for Dan Guerin to slide into that outside wall and end his day.
We know we talk about the bad luck that falls, Dan Guerin, but sometimes you make your own luck there. That was a lot of aggressive racing here with still 70 laps remaining. Pit stop time.
And now, of course, we've already seen almost a change in spots twice now on pit road here for the lead. Can Adam Blocker beat Alex Saunders off? That's what we all want to know. That's what we're going to find out.
I want James Brandt right now to short fill. We got you can't get there. You're going to need, you can only go 50, so you need this stop and one more. Well, wait, let me do this right. We have lap 90, so we have 70 to go. So one more stop. But who was out first? It was
Adam Blocker was able to get out front. This time there was no real contest there getting off pit road, as Alex Saunders spun the wheels, I think, just a little bit too much. Now, at the top of the leaderboard right now, you're going to have Cody Wenson, followed by Frank Beezer. We'll see if they stay out or if they come down pit road.
Stay out there, boys. You've only got 21 laps on your tires. Stay out there. You can go another, if you go another 30, you're in the window to one-stop this from here. Why come in now?
Well, let's see. We'll see what they do here in the next few minutes, but I say we go ahead and take advantage of the situation. Take another break here on GSRC on the iRacing Esports Network tonight. We'll be right back. Welcome back to GSRC on the iRacing Esports Network tonight, coming to you live from the Mental Health Awareness 200 at Gateway Motorsports Park by Lionheart Retro Series, driving Lotus 79s. And if you want a Lotus 79, you make it feel a little bit more realistic. Well, if you're a sim racer looking to add that missing driver to Car Connection, bringing more realism to your sessions, butt kicker products are the way to go. A butt kicker moves actual mass producing a heptic immersion. They are the way to go. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order. Cody Winston going to be leading them down here to come to the green flag. He's going to give his shot at leading the field, and they are away. Frank Beazer starting in second, but he's already under fire from Adam Blocker. Let's see if Adam Blocker is able to clear him as Frank Beazer takes the real high line. Adam Blocker is able to get around him pretty efficiently. We'll have to see what happens, Sue, but these guys, Cody Winston, Frank Beazer, we're figuring that, this is all part of their strategy.
Yeah, Beazer probably wanted a better start, but now he's going to settle down into fourth position. These guys are still one stop away like everybody else. Yeah, granted, their fuel tank's a little more empty, so when they stop, it'll be a little longer. But, I mean, what was Cody Winston going to do? He was back there. He's like the crust on your bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Nobody really cared much about it right now. Now, he's the bacon. He's up here in front. Way to go, Cody.
Yeah, and so far, it looks like he's going to be able to lead a green flag lap. I don't think Adam Blocker is going to get to him by the end of this lap. And the rest of those guys back there still having a little bit of trouble getting around Frank Beazer as they're kind of jamming up a little bit. But so far, we're overall clean.
Now, Winston qualified 16th. Beazer was 23rd. Frank maybe doesn't quite have the pace that Cody does right now. Beazer back to 6th. Nevertheless, doing a good job staying out of trouble, just racing this line. But they're beginning to gang up on our leader. And I think they're going to come from both directions. Blocker and Saunders are a-coming.
They are. We did kind of figure that this would happen. It was a merely track position move. Cody Winston wasn't thinking he's going to be able to hold the lead on to the lead for long, I wouldn't imagine. But he's got to hold on to it for as long as he can at the same time as Adam Blocker continues to try to use that draft, try to make a move down the back straightaway. Not able to stick his nose in there on the entry to 3. We'll see what we can do here on the exit to 4. Cody Winston gets a good run. He's going to take this lead at least to the line. Adam Blocker should have an inside run here by the time they get to turn 1.
I'll take a shot at it. If I learned anything from watching Green Acres, I mean, it's...
Ooh, they get close.
Times Square and fresh air, and that's what Cody Winston wants right now.
If you're Cody Winston, you do got to be a little bit careful here and realize that these two guys are 1 and 2 in the tight points battle up top, and they're racing a little bit with care as much as he wants to be up there leading that race.
Right now, he's trying to hold that position, leave nowhere for Saunders to drop in. Oh, boy, Blocker really has to check up. But, Adam, they got to be feeling good now. Blockers and Saunders, even though they're side by side, at least they know each other. They've got rid of Winston.
Yeah, Winston now falling back into 3rd position. We'll see how long it takes him. That's opening up a battle for the lead. Another side-by-side battle for the lead. This time, Alex Saunders and Adam Blocker. Alex Saunders taking that high line. Adam Blocker should be able to get a good run here off, too, with that draft being the great equalizer here so far today. Get a good run going down into 3, but Adam Blocker securing that inside line. Cody Winston's going to go ahead and try to sneak a peek. I don't think he's going to be able to quite get his nose in there back on Alex Saunders.
Cody does not need to get up there and race for the lead right now. He just needs to do what he's doing. Keep that beautiful, I'm going to say that's green there, that Child's Play car. That's a sponsor that our own director, Anja Jaman, used to race many years ago in the MX-5 World Tour. That's a good charity if you're not familiar with it. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have it. Cody's not racing that one. We don't have that one in there.
They kind of do a crossover here. Alex Saunders now coming back on the inside of Adam Blocker. Adam Blocker hanging tough there on the outside. I mean, if Alex Saunders is going to get around him, he's going to have to work for it here at this stage.
Pull back the curtain on GSRC. Sometimes the software doesn't load up the new paint scheme there, so we apologize if maybe I have it wrong. Maybe Cody Winston is not racing the green car, but right now he's back there in 3rd. There goes Blocker, and I know that paint scheme. That's a familiar Dodge blue car going underneath. Galvin, Wright, Grant, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Art Workman in 7th back here. There you can see it's the last car in line there before the gap. You get to those other two, Lanini and Cone.
Ooh, Alex Saunders had to crack the throttle just a touch there. Keep from getting into the back of Adam Blocker.
Everybody
needs still there. But now you're looking at Galvin and Jake Wright and James Brandt and Hart Workman right behind him. They're all catching back up here to this lead pack.
Everybody needs one more stop. But the guys up front, 2 of them are going to have to come in pretty early. Wenson's going to be into the next 15 laps, we think. Well, maybe 20 laps.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Wenson and Beezer pit pretty close to the opening of the window to go the rest of the way.
Oh, no. They can't afford the yellow coming out. They'll stay out there until their tank is as empty.
Well, Frank Beezer's already fallen back to be almost the last car in the lead.
All right, well, Beezer might need to come in. This rookie, though. No, Wenson's out there in 3rd. He's a happy camper. And you don't want to really think about it. You don't want to be an unhappy camper. That's just like the worst of a situation, you know? You already don't have the internet, and then to be unhappy. Ooh. Moving back. Cody Wenson in 3rd. Galvin now under attack from Jake Wright.
How about Bart Workman up here working in 7th place, man? We're right on board now with Jake Wright and the HPP simulation onboard camera. He having himself a great day. James Brandt's having himself a great day. Bart Workman having himself a great day. Right now running here at Gateway with 15 cars on the lead lap. Nobody is a lap down, but Dustin Wardlow is 2 laps down with Andrew Kinsella 4 laps down, and they're the only cars still running that are laps down in the lead. In fact, I think our leaders here in the next few laps will be coming up on Dustin Wardlow. So if you see that Dewar's candy machine up there staying out of the way, he's just trying to limp this thing home. Remember, Dustin Wardlow came in today 3rd in the points. I mean, he still has a chance. If something terrible were to happen to Adam Blocker or Alex Saunders anytime over the next few races, Dustin Wardlow can still capitalize on it. He doesn't want to lose any more ground than he already is to those guys. So you always got to remember, California, last race of the season, that's going to be a double points race there, Sue.
And I'm a Walking Dead guy, so you never know when the zombie apocalypse will come out. And Blocker and Saunders get caught up in that. Who knows? Look at Lanini. Lanini looking now on the back of Brandt for 8th position. Oh, and that's Wright. Did Wright lose that spot to Wenson? No, Wenson now into 4th. Yeah, that's right. Jake's starting to take a look at Cody Wenson. We've had about enough of it.
And here comes Alex Saunders on your leader again, Adam Blocker, as they are chasing down the lap car. Dustin Wardlow going into 1. Alex Saunders will take advantage of that, as Dustin Wardlow did slow down Adam Blocker just a touch because of that outside line. So at least for the moment, we moved Alex Saunders up, but Adam Blocker able to get it back going down the back straightaway.
Who can take the high line, wrap it in a smile with a Candyman can? Dustin Wardlow doing a good job staying out of the way. Galvin, Wenson, Wright go by. Workman underneath.
Alex Saunders trying to get that slide to stick on Adam Blocker, but Adam Blocker has the momentum to be able to come right back on him. And now they had a good thing going to be able to separate themselves a little bit once again from that pack, but now they started racing very quickly. Jason Galvin and Wenson are coming right back.
We're in the window now. 250 to go. And with that said, it's been 44 laps for Cody Wenzen. Right now he's thinking about rivers in China, ribbons around old oak trees, and roses in Texas. He needs something yellow.
Here comes Alex Saunders now once again fighting back to the inside of Adam Blocker. These guys just going to keep trading the lead here. And Jason Galvan has to be looking out his front, out the front visor right now, just thinking, yeah, guys, keep on fighting, keep on fighting. I'm getting about 0.08 of a second back on you guys every single lap. You guys doing that right now. In fact, that lap might even be a little bit more as he's getting big. I think in the rear, looking out that rear wing there of Adam Blocker. Alex Saunders diving to the inside. He's going to take another look at it.
Now, I could be wrong. Maybe they're dancing together. They're thinking they're faster doing this. I'm not so sure if they are because they're not able to clear each other before they get in the corner. Like right now, Blocker has to take the shallow entry. Maybe it's okay, but that can't be the fastest way around too wide through there.
No, they've lost. They've lost a couple of tenths of a second to Jason Galvin over the last few laps. I mean, they gained a little bit just that last lap, but that was the first time in a while they've actually gained time. Now, they're not bleeding time to Jason Galvin. Jason still needs to be able to run clean laps to be able to get back up there, but they are losing time. Oh! Both Adam Blocker and Alex Saunders had to crack the throttle on that one. Jason Galvin gained almost a tenth on him that last time by anyway. This time it would probably be at least that with that little move right back there.
You know, boys, did you not learn anything from Brian Yozik's incident?
Or Michael Goodman?
Yeah. They continue to battle.
Now, we know we're not looking at the back of the field too much. We want to love those guys too, but this is still the battle on the racetrack here for the lead, going back to 3rd and 4th and 5th.
If you're backmarking one of the screen time, showdown, we'll give it to you as the leaders go by it. That was kind of rude, wasn't it?
The touch. I got what you meant, though.
I'll go back. I'll look for somebody to give a little shout out to here. I've got a P10. Look at George Anzaldo. He's being chased by Cody Eldridge. And George Adams in there as well. Love that red machine. Are we looking at that? Oh, yes, my red car and the camera's red car. Just a fluorescent red George Adam paint scheme. It's got to have a Ferrari logo on there. Ah, sure enough, it does. Oh, you know, there's that. Yeah, that's a great looking car. Oh, here we go. Looking at this 4th position now. Boy, Jake Championship Wright has been working on Wenzen for forever.
Oh, go look up front. Alex Saunders just went way defensive on, Alan Blocker went way defensive on Alex Saunders there, going down the back straightaway. They are starting to know, I think, that Galvin's catching them, but at the same time, they're not running in line. I think they just want to be, they want to be able to be the person in the lead when Galvin catches them, and hopefully they start fighting for second and they can run away.
It's almost as if they're scared of Galvin getting behind them right now. Nobody wants to be second. Galvin's coming. That interval, 0.6 of a second. While this is going on, it's just about time for Cody Wenzen to come in here. He's in 4th. Jake Wright's been trying to get around him for a long time. Well, that's going to happen now pretty soon.
Cody wants to get a big run here on Jason Galvin, but he's looking down for pit lane, I think. Yeah, he's on the brakes. He's making a stop.
And in he comes.
And now we see if luck will befall Cody Winston as the rest of this race goes along.
Well, now he doesn't want a yellow. Now he's
yeah, he wants us. He wants to race it out here the rest of the way. Or if yellow happens, he wants it to happen after everybody else has made their stop.
Yeah. How about sixth position real quick? This little sister on the top side. James Brandt really close as Mark Cone goes underneath him. Holy moly. Here comes Brandt again.
These guys have lost touch with the main pack, but still.
Hey, little sister, what have you done? You've got into Cone. Oh, no.
Ooh, that looked like a little bit of netcode once again here, Sue.
Let's go with netcode.
Yeah, Cone, it looked like, at least from that top-down angle, it looked like Cone was able to stay out of the wall, though. Back on that lead. Here comes Alex Saunders once again. Jason Galvin, by the way, now has gotten back within a half second, and he's got Jake Wright right behind him. And that red car you see right there, that's Frank Beezer.
I remember him.
Yeah. When they started this, they restarted the race in second. Of course, he has made his pit stop now, so this will put him 2 laps down.
But look what that does. That gives Galvin a chance. Here he comes in that citrus-flavored machine coming right up behind these guys. Whee!
Oh, that was close. Jason Galvin now within a quarter of a second.
Oh, love this camera shot. There's a blue car going underneath. Blocker. Is he going to be able to come up in front? He does. Here's the move underneath. Let's see who leads to the line. Let's pretend it's the white flag. Saunders comes through. Blocker gets the run, and who would lead at the line? It was the guy. There you go. That was Saunders that time.
Yeah, with Jason Galvin now right there. So good thing it wasn't the white flag lap.
Oh, Jason would have been there if it was.
I've got to say, though, this is turning out to be another one of those classic finishes. And, man, we've seen a few of them this year. We saw a few of them last year. This Lionheart Retro Series always puts on just a great show on these ovals. And, oh, man, the chaotic finish last week at Iowa. And here we are again. Alex Saunders, Adam Blocker up front fighting for it. 30 to go. This time we're adding Jason Galvin and Jake Wright into the mix.
That's the battle of the AJs.
Oh, Jason Galvin's back in, almost just stepped out on him. Jake Wright's going to get around him. I don't know how he saved that car, Soup.
Yeah, that was ugly. So you got Adam and Alex up front, Jake and Jason chasing them.
The AA and JJ show?
That's it.
All right. We have given it a nickname. It is official.
They're coming up on Bob Mikas. Now let's see what Bob has. He's good to go.
And all these guys still have to make a pit stop. Bob Mikas, I think, is coming down pit road right now. I think he saw the leaders coming and figured, I'm just going to come in now. I'm just limping around anyway. He was involved in that very first accident, so he has a lot of rear wing damage.
Yeah, my timing of scoring must have been off. It showed me that Bob's made 6 stops, so Obviously, something going on with the.
Yeah, he's been trying to fix that car since that very first accident with Michael Goodman. So.
Well, the Von Hansen's meat machine is damaged, but your package won't be if you order from Von Hansen's meat. It'll come. They're good. Pretzels will all be whole, baby. Another pass for the lead up front. Saunders going around.
Soup, I think the next big race that we're going to see, challenge for these guys, is that pit entry. Who is going to be bravest going around that flat pit entry and going to try to go the fastest? Because you got to feel like if you're Jake Wright or Jason Galvin, you might try to push that envelope a little bit harder than what maybe Alex Saunders and Adam Blocker might.
I want to take you to 11th real quick because this is Cody Wenson. Now, why we care about this is he was racing with those guys up front. I think his pit stop's going to be longer than the rest of these guys. But he's in a battle now with Cody Eldred and George Anzaldo. Wenson is a lap down. First car 1 lap down. But that's who Blocker and Sanders are going to try to get out in front of.
Yeah, and I've been watching him a little bit back there, Soup, and he's been losing time to some of those guys. Because, well, he had close to a full tank of fuel when these guys are at the tail end of their runs. But also just the simple fact of being in traffic, he's been losing time. And that is not going to help him in the long run. I think what Cody Wenson wants, I think, at this point, is to have that yellow flag happen right after pit stops and be able to jam the field back up.
There you go. He's got a chance. Wenson's got a chance to get out in front of Brandt, maybe, who's racing in 5th. Brandt and Lanini are close together. They race for 5th and 6th. Now we're looking at Travis Jagerliner. Haven't heard much from him. Jagerliner, the last car on the lead lap. Oh my goodness, are the, nope, I thought it was time for pit stops, but I guess not. How long have these guys been out there? 49.3.
Yeah, we're getting close. Of course, granted, they had a few yellow flag laps in there, right after their pit stops. So I'd be surprised to see these guys go maybe 52, 53. Just as I say that, Chris Lanini decides to come in.
So Lanini's one of those cars that I thought maybe that he might be in trouble of Cody Wenson getting around. Wenson just out of corner 4 right now. Lanini still getting up to speed. And sure enough, Wenson gets him, and meanwhile, our leader's in.
Yeah, Adam Blocker coming down pit road. He is screaming down that pit exit. Is he going to get it woed up in time? He barely got it under the speed limit in time for that pit line there.
Oh, and Saunders spins! As we talk, Saunders has put it in the wall. The caution is out. What does this mean? I think this is good, well, for a number of reasons for Blocker.
Oh, we'll have to see, but that is...
He was hurrying.
That's going to hurt Alex Saunders there. Yeah, I don't think his damage is race ending, but he's definitely hurt.
He was hot lapping. He was going to make hay while the sun shined, while the fuel tank was light. He had that advantage because Blocker was going to be on a heavy tank.
And Soup, this is key. And Adam Blocker did get off pit road before Jason Galvin came around. So there he's able to retain the lead lap. I admit I was worried about that, but everything's okay there.
So Blocker will stay out. All the other cars will come in and take a stop.
Cody Wenson's going to stay out.
Yes, he will.
In fact, I think Cody Wenson here, they're still trying to scream around. If they can get the rest of that field caught up in time, he might be the leader here.
He's going to be our leader with maybe some cushion.
Oh, well, that's right. He's just getting back on the lead lap there because the pit cycle hadn't completed yet. So he's actually just getting his lap back here. So he's going to be at the tail
Yep.
end of the lead lap.
So the first car on the lead lap who has made a stop is indeed Adam Blocker.
Galvin is beating Jake Wright off. Well, this is going to be interesting to see how things shake out here, because the rest of these guys back here that I think was racing with Cody Winston, they'll still need to come in, obviously. See, Bart Workman had already completed his stop. We watched Chris Lanini make his stop.
Gotta love the Lionheart IndyCar Series as we're under yellow. 18 to go, probably 16 to go when we go back to green.
And Alex Saunders, I guess it ended up being race-ending damage. He has decided to call it a day.
If you were with us during the countdown to green, sponsored by the Sim Pit, we talked about Alex Saunders not having any drop insurance left. This one is gonna hurt. Yes.
I would not be surprised here, Soup. I won't be surprised, but I'm not expecting it to happen. Let me say it like that. But if
Wait a
Adam
minute,
Blocker was
let
to
me
take it easy the rest of the way.
Let me digest this. I won't be surprised, but how did that go? What was that?
I don't know. I already forgot what I said. It was 20 seconds ago.
Okay.
Basically, I don't think it'll happen, but Adam Blocker could potentially try to take it easy here for the rest of the race, knowing he's now going to have a good points day over Alex Saunders.
Sorry, I'm with you now. You lost me on the setup to that, but I got confused with
it's almost 11:30 here.
Your algebraic logic there. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. Adam Blocker's your leader. Right behind him is Jason Galvin and Jake Wright. Little sister is in there as well. James Brandt in fourth. Now everybody's going to get the wave around. And that means that when Blocker pulls up behind Medina Mendez, our pace car driver, he'll be in first. Galvin, Wright, and James Brandt. And where did our rookie sort himself out there when it's all said and done? Cody Winston in P8, getting the wave around. All right, well, the lights are off the pace car, so you know what that means. It means, what does it mean? It means we need the funk. Gotta have that funk. We need the funk. Give us that funk. It's time to go boogie racing here. Pace car is in. Adam, you got it.
Yeah, Adam Blocker. Jason Galvin followed closely behind, but Adam Blocker's going to get the jump. Jason Galvin, it falls back almost into the clutches of Jake Wright. Fantastic start there by Adam Blocker. Possibly the best one all night, and it's when he needed it the most. Jason Galvin falling into that high line. Got to be careful up there. Jake Wright not able to capitalize on it, so they're going to settle down, run single file here for just a minute. They got to be very careful not to let Adam Blocker get away in the opening stages here of what could be the run to the finish. We really only have about 15 laps left of this thing. Well, about 14 now here coming to the line.
I've not seen Jake Wright really be doing anything, but we have seen what Galvin's got, and he's showing it right now. Galvin can pass cars going underneath. Oh, he drifts up and he saves it. Woohoo!
We've seen Jason Galvin get loose a couple of times on the exit to 2. It's been a trouble spot if you're running up front here today. You do not want to get snake bit up there for sure. Jason Galvin, now he's going to lead this lap, but Adam Blocker still trying to use that draft, try to use it again. He's just blinked out for just a second. He's back though, everything's okay, but Jason Galvin still trying to run that really high line through 1 and 2. Has he found something up there? we'll have to see if he's able to use it at all. But he's going to dive way to the inside here going into 3. Jake Wright, he's going to sneak a peek back there as well. Trying to do something with it here, Soup.
Jake's got plenty of time just sitting back there. I know the tires don't wear out, but he's just sitting there happily saving his stuff, waiting for the last lap. Can you get there from 3rd? I think so. Look at the run that Blocker gets up top. Boy, Galvin is really working the car.
And don't forget, I mean, we've seen it a couple of times now. You can have Brandt back there in the catbird seat out of all this. And he's already missed, what, 2 accidents here today.
Yep. Oh, there's no way Galvin's bringing this car home safely. He is a madman out there. I don't mean that bad, Jason. I just mean you are one confident driver.
Almost knocking wheels there with your leader, Adam Blocker. It doesn't get much closer than that as you ride on board with Jason Galvin. But he's already charging back. As we go back to live here on GSRC, another guy that's charging, James Brandt. He's trying to take a look at the inside of Jake Wright back there. Thinks better of it, though.
I mean, Galvin is all over the place, like Sisyphus and flip-flops. He's just making the job harder than it needs to be. Boy, he gets up on the back of Galvin, he loses it, he gets it back, has to go back around Wright. Blocker, Galvin, and Wright. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were talking a few minutes ago with it being the AA and JJ show. Well, now it's the AJJJJ show.
Always a lot of J's in this series. That's been the way it's been for a long time.
Of course, your top 5 right now: Blocker, Galvin, Wright, Brandt, and Anzaldo. Shaking off that monkey off his back, running in 5th.
My first name's Adam, Jason, Jake, James, and George.
And then Cody Eldred had to come up and mess up that J party.
There we go. Get back
there
to
goes Galvin. He's going to take a good hard look on the inside. Just got to hope those rear tires hold for him. Adam Blocker starting to drive defensive. He's going to make Jason Galvin get around him way to the inside. It's definitely not a preferred entry for Jason Galvin, but still able to hold on to it. He's going to lead this lap.
Lead the lap.
Making way fast, Soup.
7 to go.
Oh, he's sliding. Just a touch. Those rear tires are starting to lose grip. That entire front pack jammed up a little bit. Jake Wright's right there. James Brandt is right there. Adam Blocker, you take a look to the inside here of turn 3.
I'm surprised that Galvin left the inside open. I guess this is what he wants to do. The little dipsy-do Hucklebuck move. He's not going to lead the lap, but boy, it was close.
Well, he's got to be careful here going into 1 and 2 after the last couple of laps. They're able to hold it together just a little high, but Adam Blocker not having to react to it. He's going to stay in the throttle. They're snaking down the backstretch just a touch. Jason Galvin's going to try the inside here going into 3 and 4. Trying to keep that car down low. How many races at Gateway, particularly in stock cars though, have you seen crazy finishes coming off turn 4? Can we be shaping up for one here in the iRacing world tonight on the iRacing Esports Network? Oh, we're going to find out about 5 laps, maybe even sooner if these guys get really antsy. But man, they're fighting tooth and nail for that lead. Jason Galvin right underneath that rear wing of Adam Blocker. Time differential, you saw it right there, less than 1/10 of a second. Good run down the front straightaway. Jason Galvin's going to get the nose in there, but Adam Blocker's going to lead the lap. Don't forget, Jake Wright and James Brandt right there should something happen. Not even necessarily a spin, just any kind of slow up, and they're going to be right there to pounce on it.
Would not be surprised if Wright doesn't make himself known here pretty soon. 2 wide going into 3. The green car is going to have the lead, but watch the over-under here from Blocker. Coming out of 1. Coming out of 4. Here it is.
Here's 3 laps to go. This is where chaos erupted in Iowa just 1 week ago. I don't think it's going to happen here on turn 1 and 2 this lap. They are fighting for it still. Adam Blocker moves back to the lead. Jason Galvin second. Jake Wright third. James Brandt fourth. Fifth place, way back there, is George Ansaldo. He won't be a factor unless something crazy happens. Back in, breaks loose to Jason Galvin just a touch. He's going to drift high. He's going to fall all the way back to fourth, but here comes Jake Wright. As we're going to hit 2 to go with the new contender up front. Jake Wright going for that win. Adam Blocker led that lap. Jake Wright on the inside here going through turn 1 and 2. Adam Blocker's going to have the momentum. Jake Wright's going to slide up into that wake of Adam Blocker. Try to use it here to get a run down the back straightaway. Adam Blocker's going to go defensive. That's going to put Jake Wright on the outside. We're coming to the white flag. Jake Wright cuts to the inside. That has not been the preferred line here going into turn 1. We'll see if he's going to make it stick or if he's going to throw it in there. He wants a win. It's not been the greatest of seasons for Jake Wright. Adam Blocker, though, he's fighting to make sure that he's able to put lots of points in Alex Saunders now. They're weaving down the back straightaway. Going into turn 3. Got one guy going for the win, one guy going for a championship here in a few races. Who's going to come home with the trophy here at Gateway? Coming to the line, great run to the end. Half a car length, coming to a nose. Adam Blocker gets it by a nose over Jake Wright. James Brandt coming home, finishing a fantastic run in third. Jason Galvin in fourth. Whew. We're going to go to a replay on that. We're not even going to go to break. We're just going to go to a replay. Let's take a look at how that one shaped up.
Wright had a great run going into 3. He just ran out of time. Look at the draft he has. And he gets there and just runs out of tarmac. And there you see it. It ends up being 1/100th of a second.
If he would have had another 100 yards.
Yep.
Isn't that the story, though, in racing? And we've seen it here on GSRC before. And, of course, now the third broadcast of the Lionheart Retro Series on the iRacing Esports Network. We come back in a few minutes. We'll go ahead and talk to the podium, put the finishing touches and everything with the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. We'll be right back. Another fantastic classic finish here for the Lionheart Retro Series. This time, Gateway Motorsports Park was the place where it all happened at. Welcome back to Gateway and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, I have the website for you, plasma-tracks.com. Not only produces original racetrack wall art, produces motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrication are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself, but be warned, one visit, and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a plasma track wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Oh, all right, I'm still trying to catch my breath at the end of that, so we'll see if I can get through the top 10 here. Adam Blocker coming home with the win, 16 thousandths of a second. That equates to about a nose over top of Jake Wright. James Brandt, what a great run for James Brandt today, coming home in third. Another great run from Jason Galvin, making his return after a couple weeks off with computer issues. Bart Workman, great run. George Ansaldo shaking the monkey off his back. He's had a couple of bad luck races here the last few weeks. Coming home in sixth. Cody Eldred in seventh. Pit stop strategy. Got Cody Winston solidly in the top 10. He's running up in the top 3 for a while there toward the end. Travis Jagerliner in 9th and Chris Lanini in 10th.
You know, the mid-packers like Skull Island, it's just hard to get to. Mark Cohen comes home in 11th. George Adams, we saw all you guys in 12th, the last car on the lead lap. Then we get to the guys who are one lap down, Bob Mikas and Frank Beezer. We did see Beezer race up front for a little while with that alternate pit strategy. Andrew Kinsella, was he in this race? Well, I guess so. He gets 15th. Apology to have a catch. Didn't get a lot of time with him. Dustin Wardle, we saw him. The Candyman got into trouble. He comes home to the sweet 16th position. Alex Saunders, 18 laps down, was racing up front for a while. You all know what happened there. Dan Guerin, Brian Yosick, also involved in incidents. Their days end early. And in 20th, he was racing. He was coming. Real World IndyCar driver Sage Karam finishes in 20th. Adam?
Yeah, of course, Sage Karam get caught up in that incident there when Brian Yosick unfortunately lost control. And he's finding there are a couple of guys here that kind of got caught up in some as well. Chris Walker, Chris Stouffer, Samuel Ryman, who I believe loses that tie with Chris Lanini as far as the cleanest drivers here so far. Of course, he wasn't no fault of his own on this one. Robert Bloom, 24th. David Altman, 25th. Justin Weaver, 26th. We saw the incident with Michael Goodman right up the bat. Very similar to what happened to Brian Yosick. And, of course, Scott Johnson in 28th, rounding out the field. And, well, I can say this. I think Adam Blocker ended up with, if not the probably one of the more spectacular performances of the season here today, Soup, definitely had the cleanest, tightest, tasty donuts out there, didn't he?
Oh, there were some very nice championship donuts there at the end. Adam, they were coming from all angles, whether it was Galvin or Saunders or Jake Wright. They kept coming at you, and you kept pushing them away. Congratulations on that win.
Yeah, I think those were the best donuts I've ever done. But yeah, the race was pretty good. The setup allowed you to swap the lead back and forth and really race, and you could pass on the inside or the outside. You had to work for it. But yeah, it was just a really hard fight all the way through. Alex and I don't know how many times we swapped the lead back and forth, and I wanted to be ahead for the pit cycle, and I was somehow he was able to stretch the fuel a lap longer than I was. I didn't know that. I assumed we were going to have to pit on the same lap or something, so I wanted to, get the pit in first. I pitted in, and then the caution came out when I was in the pits, and I was like, okay, this is perfect as long as I don't lose the lap. And then I come out of the pits, and I'm wondering where Saunders is, and turns out he's out. So it's good for me, and he made another mistake, but it was still not easy to get the win after that because Galvin and Jake were right there, and they're both pretty good in this car. I had to fend them off.
Help me understand about swapping positions. Usually I can tell if you're dancing or if you're racing. I don't know if you guys gained any time swapping back and forth. Do you go faster that way, or was it just racing you guys were doing?
Oh, we were racing. We were definitely losing like a tenth or two a lap, but both of us wanted to lead, and because I was afraid that if it went green, it was kind of a deal where if you like. The first stint illustrated it. I got a little bit of a lead because the cars behind me were fighting. I got like maybe a half-second lead, and then they couldn't really catch up to me and do anything. So I wanted to make sure that I stayed locked together with Saunders, and the best way to do that was to keep passing him back. And I'm sure he was thinking the same thing. So, we both wanted to make sure the other one didn't get away, and the best way to do that was to hold each other up. So it was interesting.
I'll get you out of here on this one because I got to still try to figure out these 40-year-old tires. Did they get used up using the inside line, or could you race there as much as you wanted?
This track, more than others, was a little bit brutal on it. We saw it last week at Iowa where Goodman lost it on old tires, but this week on light fuel and old tires, it was sketchy, especially in the inside line on cold tires, like on a restart or something. And I actually wanted to take tires this race, like midway through the race, but we never got a caution where taking tires would have been like, no time lost in the pit. Every time we only had to fill like 5 or 6 gallons, and I was like, I don't want to lose track position, so just risked it and didn't take any tires.
All right, well, things are looking good for you in the points. Saunders was out of drop races, so this one's going to help. Good luck the rest of the way. Only 3 to go.
Yeah, 3 to go, but Auto Club's double points, so not counting anything out. Just want to thank Saunders, Galvin, and Jake Wright, and Sage Karam, and everybody that was racing hard and clean. It was a really fun race. So
we'll see you down the road. Congratulations on the win, Adam Blocker. We think going to be your points leader by the time it's all done.
Yeah, I think that one will be a fairly safe bet. And with that, we'll bring in the guy that finished, second tonight, but not by a whole lot. Jake, man, great run there right at the end. Were you just kind of sitting back there biding your time?
Oh, there we go. Something like that. I didn't really see in the final 10 laps, it was really just there wasn't a move I could really make where I didn't see myself either spinning or, losing third place. So it was kind of just rolling around and hoping something would happen, and something did. And I tried to take advantage of it, but just kind of ran out of room.
Now, I got to ask, how tricky was trying to hold down the bottom there on turns, especially coming off of 2?
For me, I didn't find too much of an issue, but I know a few people spun there tonight. For me, it was really 3 and 4. You enter the corner just a little bit too much, too much rotation, or RPMs are a little too high, and the thing just kind of goes around. And that was kind of in my head the whole race. And I love this track, I really do, but that's just the one thing that's kind of scary about this place. But, I love it.
Well, it came up just short for tonight. Coming up here in a few weeks, I believe we're going to be up at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Are you gonna? How are you feeling about your chances up there?
I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking I can do all right. But the people in the series are just insanely quick, so I'll give it my all. But who knows what'll happen?
All right. Well, hey Jake, good talking with you, man, and hopefully we'll talk to you again up there in Canada.
All right. See you then. Thank you.
That was Jake Wright. And we're going to let Soup catch up here with third place. Solid run tonight from James Brandt.
James, congratulations. My goodness, you were back there mixing it up the whole time. I don't think you were ever up as high as third until the very end.
Yeah. First, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, how about that? Yeah, it was a fun race. The car really changed throughout the stint as the fuel burned off, and I was just trying to keep up with the guys in front. Honestly, I didn't have a whole lot for them. They were racing super hard, and I was kind of hoping someone would make a mistake and got lucky.
Yeah, you had to be thinking that they were going at it. Boy, I positioned myself in good shape here. I'm third. I've got Galvin behind me. I've got 2 guys side by side. I could steal one.
Yeah, I've had a fun time racing with these guys this season. I feel like I learned so much from race to race, and I'm kind of forced to sit back and watch what they're doing out there. But as Jake said, it's pretty tough to pass, and you take what you can get. But these guys are so good. It was a lot of fun tonight.
Okay, well, Adam has tagged you with Little Sister as a nickname. We're going to try.
You don't pin that on me.
Going to try to get that one stopped. You were pesky though. You were annoying those guys today. Good job on a good race.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
James Brandt, your third place finisher today.
Yeah, and real quick, just because he's been hanging around patiently, we'll bring in Jason just really quick. Jason, you were able to be up there running in third for a pretty good chunk of the night, or at least in contention for it, and it kind of got away from you there just right at the tail end.
Yeah, that was a real fun race. That first off, big thank you to everybody that raced up front. Congratulations to Adam, but everybody raced real clean all night up there. It was a fun race. I was making the joke. I almost pulled an Indy again because, at Indianapolis, I went into turn, 2 with 2 laps to go and ended up outside of Alex and just spun it on my own. And that's what happened there. I told Adam at the end of the race, he made the right move. He kept leaving enough room on the bottom, and I'd get a little free getting in on the bottom, but I could get back to the throttle and save it. And when I got in up top, I turned the wheel and it almost went around, and that was that. But fun race. Shout out to my teammates, Raven Motorsports. I've missed some races here. With some personal issues and then with a computer problem, and came back tonight, and we went from 8 points up to 70 points up in the team standings, and that's kind of where our focus is now because Dustin's the only one really left in points. So big thank you to them and everybody here at GSRC. Fantastic night and a lot of fun, and on to the next one. I don't even know where we're going, but on to the next one.
All right, well, hey, Jason, we just want to say hi just real quick, and we'll catch you in Canada here in just a few weeks.
All righty. Good to be back, guys. Nice job tonight.
All right. Well, hey, with that, that's about going to wrap us up here for tonight. So with that, let's talk a little bit about HPP Simulation. Design and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com.
And it's my turn now, as I'm going to tell you all about... What am I going to tell you about? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you about Butt Kicker, and I'm going to actually read the script. I would like to ad-lib it, but I'll get in trouble. So as soon as I find it, Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate.
I missed my cue. I'm sorry.
You did add that. Well, I didn't even have the script up, so we're even. Drivers to car connection. You got to get that driver to car connection, bringing you realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of Butt Kicker products at thebuttkicker.com. Use this promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order.
And also brought to you tonight by the SimPit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional video and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And to contact any of the sponsors you see on your screen right now, go over to LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on their company logo. On the screen now are just some of the companies, equipment, and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of Eric Echolm and June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
See, you're watching it, you don't know what your ears say, look, listen, that's June Lalonde and Casey and who is the other guy? Eric Echolm, and then you know what you're watching. Man, let's get out of here. The Lionheart Retro Series comes back in 2 weeks, October 18th, for the Skidmark Motorsports Grand Prix at Canada Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. GSRC via the iRacing Esports Network will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screens now are just some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at, now check this out, GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSR Channel_Graham. And if you haven't done it already, go over to the GSRC YouTube channel and be a subscriber to become one of the more than 7,000 subs that we have now by hitting that little red button. Adam?
Finally, on behalf of the crew, Soup, Amjetta, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you on the iRacing Esports Network for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. So until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.